Long before America was a nation, the continent was a mosaic of worlds. 600 plus indigenous tribes, each with their own languages, astronomy, medicine, and political systems. The Iroquois League practiced democracy before Europe imagined it. The Pueblo people built cities in cliffs, defying gravity. The Mississippians raised pyramids bigger than Egypt's in sheer volume. But across the Atlantic, Europe was boiling, empires hungry for spice, gold, and land. A collision was inevitable. Columbus never meant to find America. He meant to find India. But destiny often hides behind accidents. What followed was not just exploration, it was the world's biggest transfer of life. Horses, guns, wheat arrived from Europe. Tomatoes, potatoes, corn crossed into Europe and changed every cuisine on Earth. Disease wiped out 90% of native populations. America was being reborn, painfully, violently, and irreversibly. The first settlers arrived starving, frightened, and unprepared. Jamestown nearly collapsed. The Pilgrims at Plymouth buried more people than they fed. But out of desperation came innovation. They learned survival from native tribes. They built local assemblies, mini democracies. They introduced the idea that ordinary people could govern themselves. A radical thought, a dangerous thought, a spark that would one day set the world on fire. Britain saw the colonies as children. The colonies saw themselves as equals. When taxes came, Stamp Act, Tea Act, the people whispered, "We built this land with our hands. Why are we ruled from 3,000 miles away?" Taverns became think tanks. Blacksmiths became philosophers. Farmers debated liberty like scholars at Oxford. The American identity was being forged, messy, loud, rebellious. The Continental Army was a joke. Shoeless, starving, unpaid. Britain was the strongest empire on Earth. Yet America had something England didn't. George Washington's stubborn courage, Benjamin Franklin's diplomacy, ordinary farmers who fought like ghosts. The war was brutal. Half won, half survived. But the idea of America, freedom, self-rule, human equality, was bigger than muskets. When the Treaty of Paris was signed, the world gasped. A new country, invented from an idea. America's real miracle wasn't winning the war. It was designing a nation from scratch. Jefferson, Hamilton, Madison, they argued so much that the Constitution is basically a peace treaty between geniuses. The result? A republic unlike anything before. Checks and balances to prevent tyranny. A free market engine. A Bill of Rights written by people who feared government power. For the first time, the world saw a system where the government served the people, not the other way around. While Europe worshipped kings, America worshipped invention. The cotton gin, telegraph, steamboats, railways, expanding like metal veins. Factory systems turning cities into economic giants. Immigrants flooded in with dreams and dangers. Cities grew, fortunes grew, tensions grew. And in the background, slavery, America's original sin, grew darker. The Civil War was not just North versus South. It was two visions of America colliding. One believed in human equality, the other in human ownership. The war was brutal. Brother versus brother, fields turned into cemeteries. Lincoln didn't just save the Union, he redefined it as a nation conceived in liberty, dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. America was reborn through fire. Post-war America exploded like a volcano of progress. Rockefeller controlled oil. Carnegie built steel empires. J.P. Morgan electrified cities. Henry Ford created the Model T and mass production. Immigrants flooded in, Irish, Italians, Jews, Chinese, Indians, bringing cultures and cuisines that shaped America. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds. Wall Street became the world's heartbeat. America was no longer a rising power. It was a giant. 2 world wars, 2 turning points. World War I. America's entry ended the stalemate. World War II. America's industry, soldiers, and nuclear science defeated fascism. By 1945, Europe lay in ruins. Asia was shattered. Only one nation had a massive untouched economy, global military reach, technological supremacy, the confidence of a winner. The American century had begun. America versus Soviet Union. Capitalism versus communism. Coke versus vodka. The Cold War shaped everything. Space race to moon landing. Computers to Silicon Valley. Satellites to global communication. Hollywood to cultural dominance. America didn't just compete with the USSR, it out-invented it. And in 1991, the Soviet Union fell. America stood alone, the world's sole superpower. The next revolution wasn't political, it was technological. Google organized the internet. Apple reinvented the phone. Amazon reshaped buying. Microsoft built a digital economy. Tesla electrified cars. Facebook rewired human communication. America created the digital world we live in. Its companies became global rulers, not of land, but of minds. Pandemics, polarization, rivalry with China, AI revolution. America faces challenges, but the same chaos that once produced Washington, Lincoln, Ford continues to produce new leaders, new ideas, new technologies. The story of America is never smooth, but it always moves upward. America's true rise was never about land, armies, or money. It was about a simple but explosive idea. Ordinary people deserve extraordinary freedom. An idea so powerful it reshaped the earth. And the story is still being written.